Hi again, Tropics fans, and welcome to the latest edition of Tropics Weekly. It's getting exciting here in Tropics land. It's getting colder outside. It means we're moving inside, and that means the high-flying, high-scoring action of the major Arena Soccer League will return here to Central Florida on Saturday, January 2nd, as the Florida Tropics host the St. Louis Ambush in the first game, not only for the Tropics, but in the entire MASL for the 2021 season. And we're going to reach back to the beginning of the franchise, the 2016-2017 season. Only one of 5 players left from that original team, and that's Anthony Arico, if you can't tell, the man behind the mask. And Anthony, thank you for joining us on this edition of Tropics Weekly. Kind of hard to believe, isn't it, that 4 years ago it was all just getting started, that opening night, which I think we all still remember so vividly against San Diego in that tremendous fourth quarter rally that shocked the indoor soccer world, really. And here we are 4 years later getting ready for the 5th season of Tropics Soccer. Who would have thought it, right?
Yeah, and how far we've come as an organization. You know, some of the I don't want to say dark days, but you know, anytime you're starting a new franchise, there's challenges. You know, and it paid off for us. A lot of hard work behind the scenes to get the Tropics started, and obviously, yeah, that San Diego, you couldn't have asked for a better start. But you know, those were all key aspects to get us to where we are today.
Yeah, it was an incredible night here that night at the RP Funding Center, and we've seen a lot of incredible nights since, not as many as we were hoping until really last year when things turned around with an influx of talent and an 18-3 record. How disappointing was it from a player's perspective? I mean, we know as fans and broadcasters and just lovers of the sport how disappointing it was to see the season get canceled. Obviously, we understand why, but you guys were living it and could taste, I'm sure, that championship. How disappointing was it for you, and maybe more importantly, what kind of motivation is that for the new season?
Yeah, absolutely gutted, obviously. You know, but health and safety obviously comes first and foremost. But you know, from a player perspective, it was worst case scenario because we were really functioning on all cylinders. As a team, we were only getting better, which was scary for the league because we really showed our talents well against, you know, our conference games as well as Western Conference games against, you know, arguably some of the best teams in the league, and we've proven ourselves home and away, and we really felt the momentum carrying us into the playoffs, which, you know, even just reaching the playoffs would have been a feat for us, but we definitely had aspirations, and we saw that end goal of you know, getting that championship. So obviously gutted, but you know, like you said, it kind of adds fuel to the fire for everyone coming back, and just, you know, motivates us even more. You're probably going to have a target on our back this year, but honestly, the work that we're putting in right now. You know, when we're on defense, we're going up against the best here.
Yeah, right.
So it's every, you know, you can see it in everyone. Everyone's pushing a little bit harder. Everyone's, you know, honestly a little pissed off about last year. So gonna take that in and really hit it going here in January.
You've been at training camp now for when this actually gets posted online, be probably about a week and a half or so, and so you're really into things now more than just the first day or two. Yeah. What do you sense is similar maybe from last year's training camp when you were kind of trying to integrate a whole bunch of new players to this year, where the core of the roster is really very much intact, and how much easier does that make things here at training camp right now?
Yeah, I would say that this year is really, honestly, I know that there was a long break, but it feels like there wasn't a break. Guys are coming in fit, guys are coming in hungry, so it makes trainings a little bit easier in that aspect. Obviously, being away from the game, you know, you're going to have your challenges, but I think it's been a little bit easier bringing in some veterans. You know, yes, we got some new players, but guys that have been around the league, understand the game, and we just, you know, had another year under our belt. And coming in, I think that we're just going to feed off of that and continue to move forward together towards a strong season.
Last thing, and you've noticed it already when you come to practice and you talk to Coach Clay and you hear him talk to the team, the top 7 scorers from this team are back this year, which is incredible, really. Mm-hmm. You add a guy like Ian Bennett, which makes it even more incredible, but I would argue that defensively this team didn't get talked about enough last year. Yeah. That's as much my fault probably as anybody else's, but to lead the Eastern Conference in goals allowed, I think it was 86, and the next closest team was Milwaukee with like 96, and they had actually even played one less game than us, so it was even more impressive. The spread, you sometimes play defense, sometimes play midfield, but defense has always been a strong part of your game. Yep. How overlooked was that defensive effort last year, and how important is that going to be again this year?
Yeah, I definitely don't think that it was brought to the attention that it deserved, but we were okay with that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no.
we were okay with that. Yeah. So maybe teams didn't really talk about it as much coming in, but I mean, you look at our man down, and for the
first 6, 7, 8 games you didn't allow a goal. Yeah,
no, I mean we were in like the
which is unheard of in indoor soccer too.
I mean we were in the 80 percentile for a long time, and nobody was close. So it's the little details, I think, that is what set us apart last year. Obviously, like you said, we're surrounded by talent, but it's also unselfish players as well. Myself, I take a lot of pride going, in the attack as well as getting back defensively, and I'm not the only one. So I think guys feed off of that energy. Guys take pride in defensive work, and that's a big reason about our success last year is our defensive work. So, and then that translates to counters, and then that in turn allows our guys that do what they do best and finish. So it definitely is what really starts the attack and allows for us to have success up front.
Yeah, and we should point out the league did not make sure that the efforts went unnoticed. Hugo Silva, a second-team All-Star, led the entire MASL with his goals against average of 4.14, and of course Drew Ruggles named the MASL Defender of the Year. So those around the league certainly recognized what was happening defensively here with the Tropics. Some important dates to remember. The first one is coming up this Saturday, December 19th, here at the RP Funding Center. That'll be the Tropics' first ever Fan Fest, and that will include an inter-squad scrimmage, which will be a lot of fun with all the talent on this roster. You'll be able to come down, and kids will have games available and fun things to do. You can pick out your seats for the month of January. 5 home games. The way the league is doing it this year, again, understandably, is kind of 1 month at a time. So the Tropics will be one of 6 teams playing in January. Additional teams will come on board in February. So the Tropics will have 5 home games in January. The first regular season game January 2nd against St. Louis, your former team. So I know you always enjoy that matchup, even though you're definitely a Florida Tropic for life now, but a one-time ambush star, and so that'll be fun for several of the Tropics players who have ambush ties in their past. So St. Louis here twice, actually, the home opener, the entire season opener for the MASL on January 2nd, and then right back at it here Sunday afternoon, January 3rd. But we hope to see you first out here this Sunday, or rather this Saturday, that's December 19th, for our Fan Fest, and that is, of course, free. And that'll be at 3 o'clock, and you'll get a chance to see some practice and inter-squad scrimmage time here, which we know will be very entertaining for the fans. So, Anthony, 5 years later, it's great to still have you here, and we look forward to your high-energy action on the field as well as the Tropics get ready for a new season in the Major Arena Soccer League. Until next week, have a great week, everybody.